Yo, Abusia, and that's Yadafufro. Today we are discussing altar of the ancient traumas. We will look at false confessions. Then we will look at the patterns of church trauma. Then the WhatsApp Inquisition. We a very, very, very serious and important conversation I'm going to have with all of us. Makase, anything I say, I'm not imposing anything on anybody. I am just drawing our attention to it. I want us to think deep about these things and all the questions I ask. But before we start, I want to ask if anybody can help me understand. They say Africa is a poor continent. I want to know whether we were poor at birth. Yewo ye na ye hiafo. Ana so say ye be ye hiafo wo ekwan bi so ana embre bi mu. Na say ye be ye hiafo wo kwan so ana embre bi mu a eba ne say ye be ye hiafo. Se na ye hiafo nso at birth a mpamucho wo enye na abrofo bebre from Arabs ne ade omo ba ha no omo be ye den wo ha. Ehia me pa when they say Africa is a poor continent aya na mpese mi hu. Na ye poor at birth and now we became poor at a point. And now what is it? Can you please help me? That is one. And number two, we were drinking from calabash. Adie na ye did numunsuo no. The entire African continent. Sometimes we drink the water from the rivers. Sometimes if we would drink, we use our hands like this. Sometimes we use leaves. Sometimes we use calabash. Everything we were drinking from was something that has a bigger mouth. So, why are we now drinking from bottles that have smaller mouth? They have bottled waters there. But uko oskenibie fia obehwie nsuo na gu glass mu na wanom. Ye important na a abomination for us to drink or alcohol straight from a bottle. So we were drinking all our palm wines from calabash. As you are drinking it, your nose is breathing. And then the water is going straight into your mouth. But sesiano, when we drink from anything that has tiny mouth, like bottle, as we are drinking gas or air. Inti mbese mi hu say yenya ne ye decide say ye mfa kra ne sa niam no ana ade ano so emfa no nsuo biom ba ye the bottle no e na ebenum ana obi be bisa say na we so de enka hu hia eye question because yare bi aba na this year na be ye brutal pa e de ama youth no me menye prophet of doom enti niam say ni me nka but me investigate na ma draw mpanyimfo attention e de asoso omofra yare ni say H pylori. I started cheat the youth no the more because I won't num nsuo na wusi wano na wonum na se bottle no be moade a na se kwan ba ho na wonum gra na utua wo home ansa wanom a wonum gas no so be attention ba so a metwi obi attention na abaso ba me bisa se ba ne sen na ye be jai bibia ye num wo bottle mu straight a na nka ye enye e ba ne sen eno nso so ye program ni bi ana ehu hia se ye me hia mboa menti ase nti na mibisa ye nyina ene episode no eye altars of ancient traumas eno ne ye beka ho asem ye beko 3 stages abusia me mankrankra bia kwaba and there ye another Sunday session of time with Maame Grace. I am not happy today at all. Today I was supposed to wear black because of the episode, but if I wear black may emotional because may fully me. And until I decided to wear mauve and black, until me show me who in the black, and I me show me royalty, so ewo mauve ni me chre ohima me ye, ewo mauve ni so that ebe balance me because we ohima, we ye leader, now we ye royal queen, who misbehave ewo public, and until na me share sa black any mauve no, so I will be balanced and focus on this particular episode that mean ye emotional. So that is about my atade mission. In fact, I can't just say I'm not happy today. I am angry and sad at the same time. Maybe some say why? But I will not let my anger stop me from speaking the truth that needs to be spoken. Intimate addressing in this manner. My ye move na ma one diamonds kakra so that metna element ebe ma my balance say bibi twe me akọ the other side black side ho na eno na be ma my emotion because e ho na me wo se bibini na me royalty no ana akonwa amete so ana me goddess energy no abalance me se wo ye awuraba unye niama bi nti meto me bo no maka asem no ane you see last year in 2025 I did a presentation about how churches are being used to extract money from students. And I me betchira mo young lady bia me bo ni din a onya courage. Young lady bia onya courage no ba abonten no de asem no e de baaye e be expose ma ye me yes episode no. And to my surprise, it looks like the situation is getting worse, not better. When I speak about something, I want to think of nya kwan ba me office. No mo be kan niyama. Sebi omo akomu wa sorry niyama omo akomu wo sebi asofo ni binum ensem na student yi su nya kwan no mo start so omo ba no mo be kan omo ordeal e de kire me. Na musuro mpo se mo be kan asem no wo abontinti wo be bisa wo se edie be ehu pa e na ebo nipa sebi only day next only class 1 na owo university a owi a mining in any daso any omofapem eyese anipei na omusro to this extent so omobeto omuniama ama obi na omuwi omobeka ho asem so a omusro omuntumi nkanti omobetena me office na omaka kire me de omakom omo aye ne omo ada nche se yese ye ni show a se nkrofo omeka omo ade ne ye bekata omo ani man kan nsema obeti ohu bejiru but eniama ne bi wo ho a obi beka unyi ne nto abonten and woman and nimeguase. And to my surprise, situation no after the episode a modding. The phenomenon is increasing rather instead saying kaye kikei and kabetria konechi kakran si e kura de ebon. Si e kura de ebon. Mama me sending love and comma Mary Boachi at 2146. I ane o comment na wo last week you know me o ma me ani da so. Sese ne yampo mente ha me wo nipa wo platform yi so ombetumi abegina ha no mo ato adwuma no so wo ma evidences ni episode ni bia obi nkwohwe enhwe ena embe align with their yeah last week no na wo ma date kura yi sa episode no it takes someone who is really connected with her energy to do what you did and nothing na me sending love Eddie Brown I'm really watching you. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all those at the comment section. I love you guys a lot. Many to your bibia, many more on what platform no so. And I may share the air kosubia me appreciate mu papa. Bebre bena ye kan ye ni na kra de ajegon. They are almost catch me say kra de ehu. I have been receiving messages, stories, confessions from people. A big trauma message ting. No mo de abremi na wo be bisa wo ho se enti asore na ye koso nyame a ochiri bone no e na sa niama we nyina ekoso wo ho na ye ntumi so enya ho hwe ana nti we eyodo ana eyokum anka ye se ye be yeshu a e na meka anka be bon young people from other countries coming to Ghana to pursue university education are added to WhatsApp groups as soon as they arrive. Enti sa wo ye hoho na wabaha ufri Kenya ufri Zimbabwe ufri South Africa baby a ufri bia Nigeria Cote d'Ivoire waba university ubedu ya uni mobia omo no mo befa wadanfo first. I always tell my children me say sa omo ko baby ekromo abroche baby omo betu kwan akobia no so omo koto a group of people amaka kire omo the first person obe approach you. No, be yet say oh your papa no your worst enemy. I have told my kids, and this thing has never failed. Wo padi amike she, wo ko baby a wo dia wo bedu ho first. A be fa wadanfo no, onu no be ba be ye wo tamfo a wan sha onu nti untumi ntina ho. These people are all over campuses. Enti ahokwo ne ba pe, omo no be approach you first. No ma be fa wadanfo. No afedie, omo ne wo ko church. Wo ma me so the church atiti wo fie. And wabedu school ho enti ube hu church friend there na kire say bibia wo ne kwan so na kire say unhu evil I won smell evil so because nipa na wabefa wadanfo no eye Kristoni as soon as when beba wo so university wo no na they've added you to a WhatsApp group And before they know it, they are trapped. What for damfo? Obeba be for damfo keke. Omo ka o. Omo se se bronsam oba wo ho a. Omba oktetua horns. Obeba the way a obe trust no. No de ne nan ba ko asim. No aye say Yesu oba wakoma mu a ombe wuda musum. Mu klemi so no ye nyame. Nso oni kwan so obe wuda obi akoma mu. Omo so ogina pono nachi. No obom na wubie na ansa na watumi ewuram ansa na wabeji bibia e de afiri wunsam eye code. And before they know it, na beka no my trapped. Just recently, I saw a TikTok video of a student narrating her horrible experience. Ghana haya. Na oba bisa won se osofo no ne yiri nsuro no. Ne man susu nsuro no. Ade na wo member no usuro no. Eno na ndem me pese me expose ma. Because wunim pa se ade a wo ye no wa sorry we emboa. Wo sika aka wo last money. Na ya di kan abo obi obetumi anya ama 5,000 de obetumi ama 20,000 na won ko awona mo pese nipa hu se wo de ewu obi o pese osofo no empe wasem o pese spiritual person empe wasem into de opa bia o de be ma no na waben no bande me ma wate wo ho ase se obetumi aben obi a omo te se tomato sellers tomato seller enkai de obedi dwa wo no last year se wo be ye ne regular customer mpo na de bia wo to tomatoes wo no na ujai tomatoes no to 1 year ana 1 month oni wo na dwim sa na all these are so for the spiritual people no etie enti wo betimi ayi 20,000 no all the time ombaba wo nsema ma oba mpesa wo tie ase say da usika ne besa no sa da no the love you are buying no so is finished omo ti say tomato sellers and sister you know kan asem yo enti the American nyina ne say wo di usika na ekọ say asori ne be do who invest say the asori ne be pa wasem ne ya ma opposition a usika ne san asori ne enkai de wutua ye no pese wo de to wadwin na utia wetua no opeso say wo pe na wutua na menye wadwin say wutua ne ya pe wasem because ayade na woto e na wo receive love no unto bioma asa wo ho pese wo ti ase this young sister had to sell her laptop to meet a money target given by one of these called groups. Waton e de akoto esika we na obi be bisa se no no onim nyansa se laptop no na o use e na say eno na ndem pese me expose kire wo no eno na make no obi betimi akọ asori obi donate obi ye bibia but ehia na asori no is not there for no e nyankopon e na ewo ho ma no na Jesus e na ewo ho ma no not the asori no as a body e na ewo ho no e de masa nipa no patroti ase enti abofra wei aton ne laptop no odeko wo maame ene wo papa agya wo kwan fifie sebere school laptop no na ye wo source of adekunti a ye de wo ko university ho no na obi ama waton na wo di sika no ko wo sha wei eye normal ana eye spell bi ana edenti na be ma obi betimi atrega wo ama ade a eye wo source of knowledge no wakoton na odi akọ na wotena school ho betena ho eye den de enti e ma mokọ asori ya moba musika hye mo bag mi na mo ye mo adwen se sika ye hye me bag mi de we beto offer mi de we be kofie na nso wani baba wo so na odi ni nyina to offer no de enti ade osofo no beka bia na ehu odi be ma wo no usuro na wo de kọ eno na enne me pese me expose ma ye nyina na yete ase the very tool she needed for her education, for her future, for her liberation. Waton di sikana kwa adia ohia to accomplish the ane maame no de na beto ho. Ono ane dachi ni na waton e de akoma osofo. Akoma church group bisa wo say den na be trigger obi. Ama na ye say wan in school no ho. Because adia we wo de be kwa awie anytime on be ma homework wo be kai. Adia no so de kwa we nya hwe. A day na many pa behave sir. I'm telling you, there are people omodi omo asase e ma sorry no. There are people omodi omo car e ma sorry no. There are people omo so ye now no omo hia loan kitu ebi mpo de aye adwuma omo nya bi na wunya bi no so njejeso ni nyina betwa wanhwa wo post kura ye beje afiri wunsam me pese ye nyina ye hwe de enti a ma sa niam we tumi ye adwuma wo ye so easily. She sold it to give the money to a pastor who probably already has 3 cars and a mansion. Arehu seme womni o. Omo donate 20 cedis ni 50 cedis no. Omo de ama sofo no. Sofo no is better than them or a better life than them. but omu 50 cedis ni omu 20 cedis no ehia omu asori dem mu pe na sika a eye mobo eni ho okunafo ni mpo ni sika no bebrebe ni nyina no okunafo ne de no eno na Nyankopon sa aso nani because God loves a cheerful giver but say hia wo de a de awuso wo ho no ntumi fa nsa nkobom emfa bi emfa njeje wo ho. I want to talk about this because we had a pastor on Revelations who said that say yetumi yi sika no ni ye de boa asori no na nkrofo no ton omo laptop no de masofo no de koye program wo stadium a asori no ahiafo empamuda nti we need to talk about these things and say ye didi agro. I employ people, I pay them at the end of the month. Nti Nyankopon I employ you na on to me set you up na ohiani na ono de ne problem say ba no ono na oba betua na onu din adi hia de ya because ohiani empa asase so de a na say yetumi hwehwe asem wo emu kwa akiri. At this point I realized something very clearly. We need to talk more about this situation for a possible change because ebi wa soro wo mu nimpa say ade we yi a me invest in the way SK ko yenye ye na ne ye raise sika say ye de koto nkonwa na amba last year ye raise ya amba asori ya koto asase wadi ni nyina so na nipa ne te ho oye. It goes beyond say the awodwen eno ena na me pese me expose my ye nyina na ye dwen ho because what I am seeing is not just church business enya asori business pe ena enya say nyame na mo koso mpe enti na wo be yi usika ama na wudu fia na wo tete. It doesn't make sense. Enti me hwaye na me hu ade bi na no na mpesa me ne wo discuss. What I am seeing is the continuation of an ancient trauma that has been passed down through our bloodlines for over 500 years. Listen, me paucho. I said this last week that I control my timeline. My words are for true African bloodlines. Adie we me say me ye bloodlines na amayate ase. Dia meka bia mengi ntum so obi abeji atum. Oye omo asam no ye omo dia pe. Ena omo beji atum. Eno so nkire se omo asam no nye omo dia no omo mpe no. Omo betena platform ni so bi. Omo beba platform ni so bi pa. Enre ya na mi hu ayi Maame nka. Omo se mu wo kro ma America. Enre ya na mi hu Victoria Taylor ewo platform no so. Ena ono de me ne kasanti me texting na me say na adai osi o ma mi phone be sa we na ye we ntimi de another way na ehwe na me say mpacho nti ye ho na din be na wo ho. Obo odi ni mesre yesre. Nkrofo na omo so omo eja ahwe ni na omo gu platform no so with fake accounts. We welcome you, I appreciate you. Wo hwe me enhwe wi wani so eyi. Wan hu bla wo ble papa. Abusia asema meka no eye deeper. Se wo pese wo de wo ho a empa ye bebrebe na ye bono fasting bebrebe na ye ye no osum bebrebe a ye som no se bibi fufuro ni akira ewo ye nya esese ye nya so mfaso because apetashimpo so nipa num na obo a uhusunsun aso enti asema meka no esese ye hu ni aye komu bi anade ye komu bi ni eti ye DNA nimu de eti ye bloodline nimu those triggers. And today, we are going to trace this trauma from its roots in the Spanish Inquisition, through the colonization of Africa, to these WhatsApp church groups that are destroying our youth today. Not only the church WhatsApp groups, all the spiritual WhatsApp groups. They are studying your triggers. And they will trigger you to do things against your will. This is time with Maame Grace. Anne. I am your host, always, one and only, and the mystery continues. This is 2026. It's a huge year for us. Machira the entire Bishop Black and Move, and episode winka ye pure black, to sit in my bloodline to talk to my people. Time with Maame Grace and the efa bibini bia ho bibini aya wo no African spirit akabulance efo bia ho me person no obi eti ade we no tie nie na sa wo yesofo na ampane ampa wo do wo members no So we a leader now, you're Christian, we a Muslim, now paniampa, who do na. You have to listen to this episode. So we are all able to make a move to deal with this trauma and do away with these triggers. So we are able to liberate ourselves so that all the prayers can be answered. This is what I'm saying. Afekra na show this started. Me man krankra bia achi e man krankra bia aha man krankra bia ajo baby a wo na emra abo wo ho bia ho nchia e na me de bo epini ho e de back time with Maame Grace to medie kase. Today we are discussing altar of ancient traumas. That's what we are discussing. We are looking at false confessions, and then we will look at the pattern of church trauma. Then we will come to the WhatsApp inquisition. Ade aye discussing is very huge, is very, very important to all of us, especially if you are black and an African, that an African spirit is born in you, then this is a must watch episode for you. Memo Akwaba, on this platform, you know my name, the prettiest preacher. Call me Kasongo. You can call me Saint Osika. I am in a mean woo ye, nanso so me saint. Ani unimne mi wu na afre me samai. Ko me di kan ka kiro se me saint wa ha no mo dada. Ascended masters na dan kwa mo beba 5,000 years ago no. Ombehu mi se mi gina mu pampe. Nti mi saint sesi adada. Saint Osika. Me man krankra bia Akwaba. Matro stages sa. So we are starting with false confessions. Some time ago, I visited the United Kingdom. The quest of Akabulan, a travel to that stretch. What we do here is not a joke. It's a pure investment. You carry a whole crew to you could try a whole episode. Crew and during my visit, I went to a castle, which we show part to you people. Not just any castle. Oxford Castle. This was a place where in the early days of Christianity, forced confessions were done. Medical catch was some of these downloads. When I get them, I travel close to where I saw it and I felt it. There are 3 places. I visited a place called the ancestral tomb. Abrofo we mu omo to me the school for no enante ko ho e ko visit ho e ho kwa wo behu bones say na tete no nipa ni wu a sebe before no ma form nkoa ni no mum no omo de omo ko ho na omo hye omo a omo ko ja remains no edigu ko fa bibi firi ho baby a meka nkrofo wo omo nye e ho no mo e wo ho e na me call baby enso so a me ntumi mbodi nsese badakuru bi meka me call baby nso so a ehonom nso so no ehonom no na India fo na timi ewura ho akoyi akotia na mom bi mu wo ho enti na omu take over sa country no almost at start fi cleaning and omu afiri ho no ma no ma be bie small companies no ma ba no mo be fa IT no mo bowura law system no na seti omo abawura parliament oho na anamon ba akope esi ho ye Ghana ni namo. It is enka spiritual people need to be joining force. No more care about corona. Anka ye betumi ahye na yakọ chire nkrofo bi na omo de omo nan asi ho. Na anka ma Ghana fo e wo saa oman ne so no. Omo tia de ye omo dia wo kuronum. Wonim say London ye chi Jamaica ni wo ho ye difficult. Cause obe reading na history amount. Nti omo ye nche omo basa. Sensem we no ni nyina ya chiro ne down. Ye ready say be kan wasam kire say ye nka ye betimi ade ye ho wokwan bia so ye break it through e wo som bia ene atiti bia ye fam because omo de ye call ye no na ye cleaning na ene care eno a ye betimi proceed aba ye nima beduru India for the stages are there are some places we need to step and claim ownership of our freedom until say nyama we ni besi no ye be koso awalo ye be koso abre. Na when ye catch nipa omo adwene mu do the school is coming like kakai menemu na call ho ne ye koso ye nti these are some of the things am tu kwan aya metai koye This was a place where in the early days, medical cultural, a whole of false confessions, baby, so I recorded myself standing in those dark chambers. Because baby, I me corner me yes, can we baby, I me pese me wurano, men kwana minim. Okay, where you be back say, I visited the museum. Me can't, okay, cast any ama we now could be no more restricting, think I yes, and come back na wo also wako. And a me ko artifact binumwa e woho. And a me art piece be. Me share art piece na me ko close. Me ko close na me say e yo nipa da semi na chi namono. And no more chat. Like almost she no na the way I etete ye no. No mu twa de sa no mu de tare ade no so na omo treaty na awu e na etare ho. Now that thing speaks like the energy is sitting like nipa e kasa to say nipa ni team. Enti se wo to me to kwan na se BBC wo baby na wo sa bloodline ni mu na wo tena ho a unye ti a ho a connect automatically. Ye the nail e to steam so a e be connect e be hold ye the dua ye the two ne magnet so a e hold because there is no connection sa na ye bloodline so etie. Enti se wo be de wo ho a anaso se so be say go generation ana wo na nanoma na wa ma ubu amfudi a na wo na wo ho omobo because you are your ancestor, the blood runs through you. One now be show when you nyama na obegu omani mase omu nyen samanfo omu gina baby, but the energy is there for you to connect. Enti sanka ye beti sunsum semase e kwan sronko so a ka ye tu kwan ko man bia so a ye betimi ade ye ho because o man bia wo wiase bia ye o man ya bibifo e na eye bibifo nso je ye a o mo start fi baby ye cleaning ne care until wo be free wo ho no wo costed den wo ne we university wo be ko start fi the same place nti ka ye join force ne apagya ye mu na ye nkrofo ne tumi apagya wo mu e de akosoro we ye just by the way but se mi tu kwan these are things I look for. Anio, and yes, a simusa no na downloads ne ba na afemusa ne pene metwa ticket hwem na metimu na me na me kono. We use that video for the quest of Akabulan, twa baby na me de mamo, which will be coming back this year with a bank. Mo amu be when you start things, ne kuku na bijai mamo, o mentimi anti will bring it back. That is what we do. Anio, e kroni ye ntumi creative you, ntu creative bibia no mu nyina atiegum. But omu ni hu ahode nti omu beja nti e ba ne say you don't compete who so be ye no ye ni ya no wagya ma no why another thing because we have more shows down. While in this castle I touched the cold stone walls and the torturing chairs and equipment. Eya me de minsa so say nia manim eya na abrofo no madwen ni say wo kọ a wo kọ akohwe bibi different. Listen, this place nkofo bebre blacks bebre kọ ho eko acting movies. Me person me mention di no o ma ye a lot of movies ni bebre from that castle. I went there for a different purpose. Me call ye ni niama na me touch no na omu feel say enye no na hia but na me nim ni amehwehwe because me mission e different from obi okọ say okọ acting movie ane me ma uremfi say wo kọ ba bi na wo touch walls ni ade na artificial intelligence makachiro eno na ye nananom de mboba no gugugugu ho na aya na omude ye no so ukọ baabi na se wo pe ancient knowledge a focus on walls enu nti na ade bi a omoto na hwehwem se hia pa a omo de sen wall ho there's a meaning for that. One day we can do that, we can unpack that mystery as well. I felt the energy of the place because onipa ni be wako and because the energies are infinite bibia esi wo baabi bia e wo ho se wo wani a wo hu ebro the normal ani a ye hu so a eno de obehu de akoso no e wo ho eye honam no na limit ani no na se wo gya honam ni free ho no mo a ani ni timi ko beyond their wadwimpo ebe yo because me catch last week say ye nipa no ne ye ti multiple dimensions mu enabusia. I tell you, the spirit of our ancestors who suffered there and in other places were still crying out. Anka me pese me nka museum bi na mo nkwohwe nso minim the way asemo wa America bia se wo hu se wo ti se museum bi wo ho a artifact ni we wo ho no ma ana me ka ne say sa part ni baabi e na omo omo electi omo mpanimfo no omo de omo kohokoye initiations ni adem sa museum no wompato tua sika na ko tua sika na kohwe ho na wokọ niema na gu obi eni wo ba wura ho na se wo ye bibini nko ade a obehu obete nwo so eya ye tu kwan moma ye nante because ye tu kwan because ye nan besisi baabi ne ya reconnect into certain energies ye tu kwan se ye kope sika pe patrot ya se ye tu kwan kope nimde so as well na nimde de wo buku mu ye ba de hia na mitietia wo nansi nka mebobo bi ba wo bobo ni nyina na afọ omo ani aba wo sunti no ma poni bibi hu kakra kire nti ubetumi akọhwe ubekọ no ubehu se obi a wawu ko ages na mi bisa me hu se nti ya na nanu omo so mo ye nkurasifo all this artifact no how did they mold it with gold a day knowledge no omo wa omo di moldi ye nti wankasa so koho na wo hwa a na ubehu se ewiase ehu. Even if you watch that episode, you will feel that very strange energy chill inside of you. The quest of Akabula mi ye no mo sheni ya mbehu baby steps ni wo the way na window ni tie se wo ko Cape Kosumpo na wonye bibini ya na obetumi agina ho adidi. We just go there for funny ye nkoyahwe wo. Ye ko ho ko baba me I have done Cape Kos I did all that places and can san ankofo hu kwan so mo be ko ho. Because we are seeing most spiritual people. I did there before they started going there. Even if you watch that episode, you will feel the feeling I'm talking about. We have been told many stories about enslavement and oppression in Africa. Say what they was soon tie. Anaya ye ni say nka movie po. Na wo hwe bia no mpo no ye nya ni yie. Ya ye ni say movie po na wo hwe ye different, but go there and have that feel. Go there and have that feel. Eno na fe ubehu ni American afi na wo beti oppression a eba bibifo so no asenti na mebisa asase ni se nti abibifo no ne ye poor at birth ye wo ye ne ye baby ati ne ye poor ana so say obi na be ye poor. How did we get here? Eno na me be say stories about how missionaries came first, cunningly permitting our communities with smiles and Bibles. If you feel this is not an issue to talk about, then there is nothing to talk about. If you feel we don't have to talk about this than the Bible, then you are sick. Because this is the greatest event that has ever hit the universe. So if we don't have books talking about this, and OBS CV the favor no, na or can wasem, na no na wo appreciate it and you feel that is everything, then you are sick. Men kasabe. They brought schools, they brought churches. Mose omo bremu water. Are you trying to tell me that when you were here, you were not drinking water? Now you didn't know how to write. So where did you get the abender from? Ibisao. Se na nsuo ni ha. Se de mu claim say omo be ma ye nsuo na. Were we drinking our pee? Na ya drinking nsuo mpa ke be na ye nya pee no ne yanom. When you hear these things and you are not frustrated, you don't feel nothing, you are not an African. They came speaking of love and salvation. That is what they brought here. They came with gifts and kind words. Beware, be warned. What people tell you and what is behind their heads. Be in your frequency so you are able to measure, because it's not every teeth that smiles at you that is your friend. These missionaries came here and told us and promised us all these sweet words. They studied our languages, learned our cultures, pretended to be our friends because they brought savings. So they raped some of our women. That's why I'm asking. Sir, we were poor. So what were they doing here? Were they wasting their time on us? No munyashe. Wa wote abrochire kanokore obroni be ya ade o nyahwe wo ho watena wacha wudim dia making niam o mo ba yo mo be keka kire yen eno na mebo bobosi. But then after the missionaries had done their work of softening our minds, the armies followed. Enti so mo ka kire o se bronsam oba otuatua mbeben obeba kakra no watutu ni na no de asima o mo ka wasem. When you read the Bible as an African, read it with your frequency, your blood. Read it because all the traumas is sitting in your DNA. So anything you do and take your DNA out of it is useless. It will not benefit you. That is why you are defending the Bible like a dog protecting a bone. Omo ba no no omo bekeka we nyina ene ye ho dwo ye ene ye yense ye nya danfo pa ye nya odo adofo na wie ye no ekowie sen omo bekeka we nyina wie na yakoma ye ma no yakoma ye mre no ye gi omo tun mu no ye ne omo tena ye no omo be wini ye trust wie ye no na fe de amifo no e follow ye ene omo ba ye ti asema me ka kire won na ni yie pa. Na meme nya nwanwa se omo wie ye no na amifo no ba because wo a wote abrochire no so call ye na wo hu se ho ye obefa wo nua kwa nti sa na tie nti na me bisa omo ne ye puo wa ha nti de nti na omo bre wo ye hu sa bibisa mo e de nti na omo bre ye hu sa ye bisa wo awo so omo se ye puo a meme ha bisa wo awo se ye puo sa nti na omo ye den wa ha ana omo be wie no mbe ye puo me se ma asem we ringi wo wadwim. The kings and queens of Europe later sent their soldiers to invade our coast. Not there was nothing there. A poor coast. Why are you invading here? A poor coast. And they started torturing our ancestors into accepting their gods. We were here. We didn't know your Bible. We didn't know your God. We didn't die. We were dying 150 years, 200 years. Me na nakwa mbeni. Onya 96 no wo ne last born. No mo ware. Omo tifie. Omo to meet na ma papa ni wu ye nche bia na maame na wu. E na mo se sa God ni nye na mo fa mo God ya mo de ne bae. And that 25 years gone too soon. What a shock apampe mapa. A day and as sa God ne de aba. I don't hate nobody. I'm drawing your attention to this. I want you to think deep. I want you to think deep about everything I'm saying. Even if you hate me, don't hate me because somebody said hate me. Hate me because I have said something or done something wrong. So what I'm saying, I want you to think deep about it before you start throwing tantrums. Though I don't care. And forcing them to reject our culture and norms. Forcing them to reject their religion. Nyame ne bo ni padia. Na se nyame ne bo ye na manum gu ha dia. Ene ne nyame ni mo dada. Because obo nipa bia se ni su ni ne seso nti adan na obeka kire me se me na se Bible na nkasa nyankopon na otimu no ono na mehia na bisa na sem uji aponche endra wa bedi nipa o se omo muji aponche nye wo na wo start here enye wo na wo establish abosomsom. So what are you condemning? We are not going to sit here for anybody to polish the same thing to trick us anymore. They force our ancestors to reject their religion, forcing them to accept Christianity. This made people confess to sins they did not commit. Boni onipe ni hushe. Yesi Adam na nane nti boni ewo wafa. Nti wo ye obonefo. So na meka say omaye automatic sinners a Madam for Bishop no wasere ewu say me see automatic sinners. Is that not it? Ye wo wa ye obonefo. So ba be accept Christ. Nti onyankopon okreti abonefo gu wiase. How do you even explain this? How do you even explain this? They surrendered to deities they did not know. Omuma enyamia sesa na oka omo ni omo aten ha for ages no. Obi firi ni krom ebe ka kire omo sesa enyame no enye de awunim no no. Mo na mo kan the angel you know is better than the devil you don't know. But at the same time, angel I know is angel. The devil I don't know is the devil. And I will be catch omo. Say omo de any de enye. And I know omo de Christianity. Omo de beshe omo konso. E wo kurum ha. They used the threat of heaven and hell to psychologically manipulate the victims. I will never sit down and say that Obroni the Bible bedadami. I'm too wise to say that. But I can blame myself. If ade a wo de bedada me no so metumi use no mafiri me ho na emomi protect ya, that is where the madness is. I have told you, the day you stop reading the Bible as something event that it will be the day you pursue liberation. Tiemiye we na be yom omo be manipulate yom psychologically no mo dane yom into victims. Boni a omo committee ye ho na ese wo confess. It caused our chieftains and family heads to lose their hold over their families and communities because ya ka tro say busua na wo mu no eye busua kontonchi enti jaho na fa wo ho bebo Kristo busua no na mo de ntitimu ne mpapaamu e de baaye na nsempo ayeye dededede na binum anya akokuduro akofie a starting boaboa omunuanom na emere bi abesen ko 5 years ago de obi krat ho etua tight ehwe asori emako pani o mane maame sika because ne maame ye bayifo se see an enlightenment no caution ena krofo start sisi o mabusua fie dan akana busua fie dan no ye be ka kire wa asori say usi ebebu. At this point, let me send this message to these pastors that are holding meetings about me telling people what I am. Come and say this to my face so I can answer you. And what oh be a protected ho. And to want so be can be about me. Or so for whom me do fit me say ebi mu omuhia me one on one, they can't even talk. But they look at me on TV and call me all sort of name. It's okay, it's cool, I don't care. But who tie no so for no protecting no. And now manipulate wo to have his way. And to catch us come and face me yourself and make that decision with your clear conscience. Me mo obi push you and can't trust idea we experience the person. So you are able to be truthful to your own self. I don't want to go deep here because I've told you how I want to be balanced. I want to treat this topic as a black woman and at the same time a black woman who is sitting in royalty. You can't talk anyhow. Because so what a royalty more who pay now on crop you have to behave and go and cry in your chambers. That's exactly what I'm exhibiting today. I'm trying to balance my frequency. So you can say today's frequency is like rhapsody. Sanya sadia nanke nenye. Enunti na ma try se me balance no. Our ancestors gave away their lands and identity out of fear because omo amba bum so omo beko omo de odo gidie ene nyamesompa ene heaven e baaye omo nya atenase ewie na fe omo de eko amifo no edi ekire ede baaye na fe omo ehunehuna omo nti out of fear no they have to leave everything na everything so omo say anya na omo leave ma omo no so omo sesa ni nyina de ko ye asema mi ken se wo si da bia bisade enti akekos castle gate of no return omo be tu akono edue ni ho technology aba gate be no muntumi enti omo be tu we ko ye den na mi bisa ministers na yo mo hwe se eni ama no so adenti na yo mo tu de ko. Is it because we don't have etheric leadership or how is the negotiation like? With the minister now betimi aboa me ama mate say I will be happy. Meba baby I will be on pass kora meba. They gave away their wealth and innovations out of fear. They gave away their dignity out of fear. When you go to just Cape Coast Castle, which even the energies there is being distorted, no. So wo kokwa obekwa ko hu baby anomo de ani edinfo no. Yedi omo de tunka me say nsa emre ni anka baby omo de me beto da me ko me kire om. And the churches became wealthy and powerful while the people became poor. So if you want to know why Africa is poor, this is the foundation. If you think otherwise, the platform is open. Till this day, when you go to all towns in Ghana, the Orthodox churches own bigger lands than even our chiefs. You can make your research. All in the name of salvation. Nyankopon obo asase na mom said you omu wi Jericho asase the same way. No mbeye ne. Standing in that castle, I understood something deeply. Kojina ho na fe me beti nia me bi ase. The Western Inquisition was not just an European event. It goes beyond that. And I want to expose that to you. It was a blueprint. And if you understand a blueprint, you will understand so many things as a black man. So if I ask her why they say Africa is poor, maybe I will poverty no starting, you know, and no na me di ama no. The pastors can do history of the Bible. When you ask them about these things, they don't want to talk about it. They don't even know. So I urge all pastors. You can read all the history of Israel. Try and do your own history. Maybe it will straighten your head up a bit. It will rearrange your abscess. Omo no mo ye history. Asofo no mo nim history for metro. Said ye wu Yesu ni nan bu ye. Said ya kaka ye ni morire. Ni nyina omo no mbekiro. Nti bi so omo no mo nkyere mo sa history we. because this is where they came from. A template for global psychological warfare. The Inquisition perfected the art of using religion to extract wealth, control minds, and destroy cultures. The anti Africa shiase na Africa be ye poor no eno na nema ka kire ono. I don't think anybody is defending the Bible that person I can say that is a true bloodline and a pure African. I don't think so. Because the body might die and go, but the energy, the frequency is still there. That is why I tell you it is frequency that manages a country, a continent. This is what happened to us. This is why we are poor. So the poor continent they claim, it goes beyond money, because you and I know if it is mineral, we have it. It keeps growing from the soil, free of charge, no suffering. So when they say poor, it's not about cash. It's about the brain and arrangements and distorted systems. That is what they are talking about. And that same spirit, that same system, that same manipulation is alive today. And this time round, we have our own people sitting at the top of it, controlling it. And this is what I'm saying, we should look into it. That is why they say that Africans pray more than any other continent. But still, nothing is happening. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. I heard our President Maame, together we fought coronavirus. And together we can fight poverty. Seriously, like, Papa, I can tell you something secret too. If I get you, I will tell you, we didn't fight the coronavirus together. They brought us what can solve it. We were not part of the initiation. They used us. The sickness came to us. They gave us a name. They brought us pioneer to do it. We were not part. So we didn't finish it together. My opinion, Papa, I know you watch. I know you hear. We can't go coin there no tea into it so better. When you see these Ghanaian pastors putting financial targets on young students, making them sell laptops, creating WhatsApp groups to monitor and pressure them, I see the same spirit of the Inquisition operating through different methods. This is my pain. This is why I'm doing this episode. That's why I'm telling you that anybody sitting on a seat of a colonizer is an enemy to African continent. Any being sitting at anywhere, putting the children of Akabulan into any trauma, triggering our traumas, that person is nothing but a goon representing the colonizers. This is what I'm saying. Let me break this down for you clearly, so you will know that I'm not joking. Now let's look at the pattern of church trauma. Let's look at this. 500 years ago, inquisitors forced confessions under threat of torture and death. Tiemie, Pacho. I have done a whole episode about this. It's equally on our platform. Today, modern pastors are forcing seed offerings under threat of curses. Do you see it? Or you don't see it? 500 years ago, we accepted and followed because of the fear of being burned at the stake or tortured. Me know why yes, our Inquisition is on the platform. How they would no more be sa. Wouldn't you be Charles Cocos? Charles Cocos. No more be sa say. Somewhere na somewhere. Pregnant woman no more. Adi omudi betumi ahye nase. No more abie na exploding. Na sa wo ya abofra na wugina ho na ye o maame senya. Wo begye tuma na wo njintum. Wo begye to me immediately because eduru baby a na nkwa na ye pre. Eduru baby a enkwa na ye pre. Enu nti na nkrofo bebre ko niam a omu komum. Na me ka me kire wo. Nti because of that nti. Na chese etese omu ginia mabitum. One shakra betumi repeat wagu anim ase. Do you remember we did the gayism thing? The entia Ghana for omuti gayism asem na omu ye ne nkyere se act no eni so wa ha e koso. But the reason why omuti legalization of it no it was a fear be dwelling in their DNA. A trigger because I've done that episode for you. Not to know I him for no money a day. No, almost frustrated sabrofu wenu. To me chini bejina domnenim. Sabe no more fanechi egunenima se. Or hine na nkokunu ho anu wadwane efikuru no mo tumi anya kwan atwia fikuru mado so. Inti that thing is in our DNA. Inti no mo te so mo be legalize ya. Gana nyina ye keka. Eno nkyere se act no enkoso wo kronim ewa ha. But enfam betwi omo anim. Inti saa de no ko hete omo triggers in their DNA. Eno mo se da. Enti dia me pesa wo ti ase ne se these things, these traumas are ewo ye DNA ni mu. Omo be repeal, omo be ko, omo be touch out, or dehumanized in ghastly ways by the church. Ade omo de ba ye ni o. Arabofo no de no kra de me nko ho. I'm talking about Christendom. How it got here. And if you think this is not so, the platform is open. Member me can't tell me say their Bible can na wo kan. Their Bible beto ye na no so tro naka. Pastor history reader. Unim Israel for so scholar. Unim omomo wire nyina. Unim Solomon hu bibia. Solomon betu bi. Nyo no ye wiase mfiti ase. Ti kan so de ani ye ntie. Se emahu. Me read it Trump. The Bible ni wie ye no. And I'm see he is the most brilliant guy on earth. Me say 50 years, 100 years to come. Or friend will say original text. Son of friend the Bible no. Me mo bi toye. And quickly they sent it to me. Me reading it now from foot to foot, from cover to cover. And I'm see. Se nipa time na ebia ebeye bi before the time because some no mu chira de pa na ni kuro mu for there. Some who read the Bible now they have to hold him in high esteem. We are not truthful to ourselves. Inti say you cannot create anymore. Na just like you hate me. My Bible me read it papa ni book no. And I me be who say no kwasem nie. Enipa time obi oye intelligent, no ye straightforward. Onipa oji generation oye generational thinker enipa e time no. I have come into conclusion about that after reading his Bible. He's the most intelligent being on earth. Inti ka bishop of what 10 etimi join force. And actually bibi keke decode Bible scriptures ne part Bible now and go to tunu we senka me na me tro ya anka nkrofo e beka se me blasphemous ade e ha ye no eno na me pese wu anka anya yiye mpo ane say Utopia e da so ha Bible no ada mo ma ye nkofa Utopia Bible no mo system ni bibia na at least omo fra na African Bible na nka ye mfa mu ye movement eno de mo se enye nyame na ye we ye yare ye wo problem. Your problem today, it is the fear of being blocked from blessings or cursed by the man of God. And until the crofodium musike nyina bema. Se si enu de enye se ye beku ana ye be show. Enye enu biom, but one yes ah ndwombo abeba be when to your tight ni 10% and ndwombo abeba tomatoes to your tight to de bia wudi loan enye ka na wo bo. Enye nwemo ada na eguso we no. E den na wo pese wote, e den na wo pese wu. Shira bay, no me bay, and no yamini pano dina or no betumi adomim. A day no betumi adomim. Ne yere ambo ndra, otumi domino. Ne yere mono, and a wusuro no when una wam or wako quick loan. Now they are to your tight. Ye yere wa, or so for nada. And you're so for no call me, I coming to make bobo me, spiritual groups ni nara. I am happy that now, be a ne nana. Be a ne ye nana. The weapon has not changed. It is still fear. That weapon, it is still fear. And can you fear so be cobbled some jema? Ka be ha wo fe wa soro. E fear. The church extracted land, gold, property, and labor from the people some 500 years ago. The same thing is going on. Aso for no mu didi matem de bia mebre mu episode. So I want you to face me one on one. Me baby abe friend bi aso meba say. Ejuma ben wayeda. All the things you are showing. Ejuma ben na wo wayeda. Enti na me say, President no me pawocho. I'm sending this message to you. I know you will hear. The churches should register all the spiritual things. They should register if it is NGO. Register it as NGO. Now I bosom no so aban no na ye control of the money. Ye tua uka. If you register and so say your business, register it as business. Na bosom so a wetua wo tax. Please look into this. Where na ka corruption no. It's very important to me. The Western world did it. Monkai years ago, almost omo register. And me say I stand to be corrected. I see Bishop Matthew Ashimolo called register in the end of London as business and did natem. At least he was truthful. At least he was truthful. President Maame, people are making free money. They don't pay tax, taxes. If they register it as NGO, praise be to God. Who call London a Roman Catholic Church, tithe, eco bank, abanyi ni tax, so pay more, omu to me the bibwa. You had the what's up? What's up? Papa, look into this for me. Anyo, I know you can do it. Do who can? Wokra wo tithe utia no. We are president, they be wom, omunti aso tax. So, no be salary kit where be 2001. Ne ye so tax. This is too cheating. But today, the same churches extract school fees, salaries, laptops, and life savings from young people. Sorry no. Oh, see savings and loans so that. Obesi church. O si church ni we are no we see school, no we see university, no we see baby e see nipa yetuaka. No we see hospital, ni nyina so obi enko bi free. Okwa a wo betua. The same thing. The same thing these thieves came to do. And at the goons na inherit and omoye. And kenye problem but baby e didi ko sese we university one there. E ya rekusem. They are just holding forth for those who came to finish us. Enti na the same asore ne beka akere wo say wo ko ware a men fan sanko obed doso wa ba wudi a na yedu funu na koma wabusuafo sofo ne be ya asore just 30 minutes we je funu no hoko omu tu funu no wadaka mo sofo ni hobi wabusuafo na ba betu funu wadaka mo omu yi mo kire sofo ni hobi imoma ya nwin kwa kire o momma ya nwin kwa kire. Because spiritual person na wo sika wo wanhode na do ho tale ne so no me ka kire pay se wo wu enne oni right so obesi oni sa kwanya no abusuafo abayifo no omo a no betutu funu ni nyina enti ene made awaje wo no onje wo ni ufie nyina na wuntumi ndwane mfie abusua kontomchi nim enye me nwanwa so nyankopon ka kire odifo bi se wa deceive no ama nakota amaniem e wo bible mu don't think I'm lying onyankopon to me deceive odifo nti enye me nwanwa ye obi be use bible de ayew ta wa ndwenya. The goal has not changed. What was one? It is still wealth extraction. The microphone by your mobile, artifact, the same thing. Aluta continues. Back then, victims were made to believe they deserve punishment because they were sinners and children of the devil who must be saved and civilized for Christ. If you were a child and you see your parents being butchered, raped, beaten, against such a today, the same victims are made to believe they deserve poverty and suffering because they have not sown enough seed or met their target of millions of cedis to the church. Someone who may be a day na daniafa. When I say me chun adwe agina so. Makasa dey we multiple times. If we open a show, say or the nipa komu wasofo nsem. The nipa omo ankasa binum po omo yirenum. Ekwan omo di omo nam so. So omo mbeka wo se befim. Wo be hu say they don't know what is called God, not to think of knowing what is called good. Some of them, the enkrofo kom. So today, as you prepare to go to church and pay a wukwe, I want you to know that the psychology has not changed. Eguswa, ehuna. It is still shame and unworthiness. That is why you still go to church. Because obi kure to make us one mom paya. Last week you know nkofo bi sam say mom practice mindfulness. The best. It's the same as meditation though. A meditation, the word mama na ye pan she, you know. That's why now I use mindfulness. When I see this 500-year-old trauma pattern playing out in these modern day religious groups and church called tactics, I feel rage and sadness. This is why I am a episode we na me both. But now I have to put myself in a position where I can behave. Not for those collecting, but for those paying in poverty. The youth omu maame no mo eti market tunto niyama. Maame bi didi a odi dokono a on touchinam. Said ye be yo betumi ato sardine ama ne ba e de akọ school. Maame fo ni bi koji loan na mo de to laptops no. Maame ne da so tena ho obesa ati ticket. Na mo tete manhole apapai ho e wo market ho omo afu nyina adoadoa omo tie wie yi mu ensuo kura omo num bi omo dehydrate po. Obehye sa abofra ni beyin obehye ni bi ni wawu agya ne ho. Sa abofra wei sa maame wei ni wato laptop ama ne ba e de na ko school ama osofo atwa target ama no. Ama wato laptop na se nyame ye nyame na munim nyame anka sa sika ne to wo offering bowl mu aye kan ya de to bank account mu ma wa na nka wo da wadaka mu. Se nyame ye nyame apa e ka sa sika mo bro wa we wo collect e na wo je e de to wa bank account mu kuro na nka wo da wadaka mu kuro ye sie se sa nyame ni ye nyame apa because osi onimakomam e na onimadwini mu onimakomam oniwadwini mu enya mo to wasare wo na abofra no ani maame asoso ne nsa so ebi mu mpo omo nya sika ne bi mpo ma abofra ne nkonti momo no omo ye momo ni ma abofra na waseni ama osofo a ono ne ba ne pocket money eye dollars na waseni ama no se nyame ye nyame pa de asem we de President Mahama hwema yen adenti na ohia ni ba wako school ni sika ne laptop na woji e de akoma nyankopon a sika ne dwete eye ne dia osi onu no hire nipa onu no me nipa diye wantumi ama osofo diye ohia ni basika mesin kada sika ne to bank account ma na woda wa munem yesiu. Our ministries of culture, what are they doing about this? I'm asking. Eya na ya homte is it that obi enhwe anase wugina baabi a obetumi aye dia opebi obi anya ohwe wugina baabi a na wo dia obeye na ya asem. I feel we have to evolve as human beings. Our attitude stinks a bone. We have to evolve for our own country and continent. The story of slavery has not changed and will never change so long as we still chase salvation outside ourselves. It won't change or china and changing ne. In places where we are not respected or valued. Baby, I walk your ma wokoto na wo ton wo laptop I want to be this year de continue with purpose. You are not respected. Baby, I would when you twitwi from na wo da from. Na wo tete from aduani di. Ye mu wo ho. A pastor can slap a grown-up man in church because order. Meanwhile, Bible so far what this one anyway the and the embra no your no kwafo so obesoa e bia na papa na desoa osofo to me hwe na so because order was church. You are not respected there. What are you doing there? What are you doing there? To me koto wonku nipa anim. You are not respected. To me ko butu edua anim cross. You are not respected until we think about these things. It will not stop. It will not end. Thinking concept of our education curricula must be changed so we can free ourselves and our children from the chains of these ancient traumas. What happened to Adowa and Nei? One thing when I see na me raho, a school for your program, and now a bang your program, and no more your program kesiye. No more see school for uncle la who say, Omonko sa, near the Omako Jinaho, no mu bu omu, no, and it's so this is disgusting. What happened to Adwakete, Agbaja, Apatampa? What happened to these things? Oh, Africa. When Tina make us out, Nakaosha me home, I made it to Musa made me home. Me okay. Me ye very, very okay. But me nye okay. Looking at my own people and looking at my bloodline. Me nye okay. Me nye okay at all. I say ye breaki sa chains no. Na mo sorry I say there is power in the name of Jesus that breaks every. Jesus will not break. He is the chain. He cannot break the chain. He cannot break the chain because the devil cannot fight himself. The same way Jesus is the chain himself. He can never break any chain. You have to revisit that song. Menam kanye. Anyo, Abusia, let me tell you something that most people don't understand. And if you don't understand these things, you won't understand me. People are afraid when they come face to face with such situations. And they don't know where that fear comes from. I'm telling you, and we see donate be no see dino. And you know, the whole country of Ghana, we have freedom of speech. In Crawford, I can imagine. I saw who dare you who touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. Who dare you to question what and question who? Obedience Robia. Nti sabi o ka frafacha me spiritual person bi di me no nso odi mi komo fancha me awuraba nsesa nkam kasa sa nanso asam no edika sa suro na ya musuro spiritual people na efi he o maame awawo papa awawo woni ne kasa awo nkoto wo nsuro wukunu woni ukunu kasa nkoto no yire kasa wo fi awo nkoto wo be makatachi woni oba kasa wa akoto akashi mini. That's what I want to expose to you. People are afraid when they come face to face with such situations. They think the fear is about the pastors. It's not about them. I'm catching on. Obi kura buni kunu pastor last week ya. Or buni chicha de niso man. Or so funny so will leave 2 weeks. Or boy ten and kure wu. Odura sorry them no bullying crofo in any direction da. And men man aso foni bi so hwe omo yere nom da. Ebi kura ni omo mad da. Me na make catch on. It is alleged. These pastors, that robbers can enter the church. And right in front of the altar, the pastor will beg or run away. Why are you afraid of him? It is because of something. That is what I want to expose to you. In fact, let me get into this. Also for police need to meet you. Police for the house of God, full of burglar proof. Security so. Why are you afraid of this pastor? Because he be like you, no. Into the fear, a big crash is a bulletproof, a big crash na police for do it. What happened to your power? Allo, power chuni nakagbe. Someone who is not in your pastor's church can do anything to him. Why? They think the fear is about some religious God being angry. And you're going to fear the fear, and I want to expose it to you. They think the fear is about missing their breakthrough or going to hell. Opa da wo dem na me nya adwuma come be yo. Breakthrough be en fi ba bi emma. I say I will bless the work of your hands. Enti blessing in free obi efiri wonsa ho. E na eba. Enti nya ho na fie ni fi. E na hell, obekọ hell abekọ hell. Say mam so nyankopon wa twisu nkrofo ndada ye kọ hell ni edi kan. Obehumi abehume, o pese oton bread am register. Cause my catch him se metu brodo wo brunsem jemo. Sa so fo ya musuro mo, ene se nya me ya musuro yi, se mubusufu wa asoro bibisi na mubufu wa asoro na mujai de munsuro. Titiri pa. Eyo mujai aware a. Osofo no esuro no ebe to ba bi o friend go. Usumi jai asoro ne kura pu nyankopon so ka ho. We jai aware no okọ ne baby. But I tell you the truth today. Ade e ma usuro na me de ma wende no. That fear is ancestral. And it is present in your DNA. That fear is genetic. That fear was planted in your great-great-great-grandmother when she was forced to kneel before a foreign god. That fear, the body will go off. But the energy, the frequency, it still reigns. 1 million years is the same thing. It is infinite. That fear was planted in your great-great-great-grandfather's when he was whipped for refusing to abandon his ancestral shrine. That fear, no, don't forget those people were killed before their time. So they are more alive than you can think of. And the same thing that Jesus, they are projecting this to you So you can learn sense. It is your choice. Who decides over what? Jesus ye kumuno. Want to know kwa and until no some more money body, no more money moja, no more activating the ghost. Your own is still there. You can also activate yours. And then I'm there. Who great grandfather fear no shena ye she no. Emma okotu ye egu n'anim ase. Eye Ghana na obi to me koto by force. Me, if I kneel before anybody, that person will even die. I don't have to kneel before anybody. Ye walk a crony beneath tribes ni bi wo kwa kutu obi anim ye taboo. Ya mo obi a himfu ina to me koto wa sorry. Kai! Okoto wo ho no ma na wo duma konwa ni to me ni nyina. That fear lives in your DNA. I've told you. It's so sad. And these modern pastors know how to trigger it. They know. They know. I didn't think I make quite sorry. Now me wo 50,000. Eda me bag ma me be ko dwa ochina. Na me yi 500 and na 5,000 me de be to offering. Na me to me yi 50,000 no half. E de ko boy dey no kan ye. He pressed a particular boat because that thing is sitting inside of you. Most of these pastors have done medicine. Most of them are psychologists. They know where to press and trigger your triggers. They know. They know how to press that button in your subconscious mind that says submit or suffer. Enti when tia usika beshi. When tia obabe yare. Be yese na nyame yese yimaw. It triggers that fear, that trauma in you. And they know. Just say, you tell me. Edi empa na wo ye wa sorry wa eyo odo na wo nti na wo ye. It's about what you will get. And it's about one yesenya ube yese until you have to go. Enunti na woko. There are young people in their thousands in many of these church WhatsApp groups who are suffering, yet they tremble at the idea of getting out. Adenti sa group akudu bebrebe ebi kura danin konkonsa fo. Wan ko se ukodi kokonsa. Kokonsa na omudi wuto wo ye den. Ade na wonko. All the groups they know said baby am way enye into getting out are a problem. Adentia. Why? Because the trauma is deep for Africans. Because the programming is ancient. Deep. Do you think Ghanaians are not acknowledging the fact that the church or the worship thing is now a lie? They know. They know, but living it has become a canker. Because it is ancient programming. Because the manipulation is spiritual. When I say spiritual, it's a idea see inside they driving this mechanism you see out here. Why is a grown up man with beard afraid of me pastor? Me Bible a grown up man is scared because he didn't see a Bible at a particular place. Where we dey? Now let's look at the WhatsApp Inquisition. And share no so swear. Let me paint a picture for you of how this works today. Babechro, me di kan paint a picture na ma the way na first one no edi kan eye adwuma. Me say first group no de me say ni nyina ka ho. Obosom kura wo group. Okonfo wo group. Etimi cheche bosom e posti bosom e koma group members no. Nti enye omonko ba bia every month you have to pay. It's the same thing. At least go to church. A home board drums ama wasa ubenye ku ubenya mpana ewo ho ana meboa. This WhatsApp group thing ni de. Eniama de ba ne de it can be a whole episode one day. Who de yenhwe we, who de fa ne say a young woman, let's call her Ama. Who de yenfa Ama di name no. Arrives in Ghana from Nigeria to study at the university. What I say? Omo de ni fi ofinikuro maba obestedi wa ha. Wa ukọ ba bi fofora unim de we hote. She is excited. She is hopeful. She is ready to build her future because Oba University abesunya de a na brabo ne kwanso anu wasi no. E ka kire me ma no se be kakra no wan ko university kuro bi enware. The way this thing they go no. Me baba ko wo fie ho na o ka brofo. O se me ba ni nua be ma ne de or the girl be a bafie ho se den. Me show mo camera no say or see a hobo. Hey, bro, the miss. Also the brother that confess a hobo said a galloom. Hey, brofuni be so where waba university. Yamfa na nkosua adwuma because they have a dream be say yamfa when sua adwuma near do be university they have a better future. That's how they think. Inti nani age say ye de na ba na obesua de. Within the first week, onim obi a wo kro na waba mu, someone befriends her. Wanya adamfo. Sister, you are new here. Ani o mo no approach you first. You need to connect with believers. Let me add you to our church group. Senya. Omo ne nam ho na omo sesa nkrofo no. Eno de medical aka cho so wo ko ba bi onipa obetumi obe approach you first. Say your employee wo adwuma mu a, de obefa wadamfo no first. Ono no ye wo yefo. Mama wapo no. Utu kotena baby a de obefa wadamfo first. O wahala no. Asem we fa to trim try it and see enfeli da. Sister, you be friend you dey want to WhatsApp group num. It sounds innocent because one can't just do a group of prostitutes. But see do ko nyame fie. It sounds so nice. Just like the inquisitors no eba ye no omo be ye no. Ye bre mu nyankopon nti we na asem de na ye dey start. It sounds helpful. Wo bada onya asori akwa eye. Sometimes they don't even inform them. Your child arrives on campus and before her first class, she has been added to a church prayer group. Cause no Jesus, no life. Nti ye be add no to group na se ne maame mo bompaye ma no be school no mo the Bible kan ho de ane na ba bia ewu. So I just join the WhatsApp group because of prayer and because of the peace, because of protection, because of God's favor. I join the group no. At first, it's just prayer points and Bible verses and omo be trupi. Omo be send am omo e woni phone so tolon e be dru ba bi na fe tons ni si so brokacha $10 omo to me record no ma send am group members ni na. I don't know how they get out of that. And no nya me problem. Na sa na be start e no ye so cool. Bibisa mo ade we betumi esi wa abrochire. Mo amote abrochire munye honest. Who betimi do back to school ni a creative group amano wo. No what on a laptop. Is this possible? And you possible mpade you bibi ni na akoye wo. Na make a chiro jimidi. Bibia ye compare with abrochire. Enu nti na bibisa no. Enu na ye eba fo me say ye kokwa ye tumi di mmara so. Ye tua ye tax ye bibia nso ye ba ye krom ha de ye bibia ye mpese ye ntumi mpo nye. I'm telling you say krom ha omo businesses wo fie. Omo ye huge businesses omo ntia tax. Omo do so chen omo de glass. Asen wo no omo de ntade 4 asen mu no omo ana omo pe. E no omo age omo ani so. Na omo de omo ntia tax. Bi bisa se ade we e betimi happen. E wa abrochire ba bia wote. Saying abofra no omo de ne befem. No omo de na she group no mu. Then it becomes announcement about church programs. Na fe odi echire na okọ all night abofra wa ko school so okosun ade no na okọ all night wan ko all night ni bi kura na omu hu se wo ye bronsam obi di bi ye me ba e wo KNUST campus me tena flight mu na mu di ho me do ho one time cause uni mu mpa ye botche me na uni mu kom seso nche me mo pa adakro mo ma me mount pulpit na me preach na mo hwe me quote this Bible way crunchy no what say me bia sorry anka who can beat me. I have what it takes. I can do worship for 30 minutes and things will happen. We are na me the prophetics not to us so say ba kokora ba mi si ni meta we nya nu dwa o e yade ayaya na ya upgrade wo so we e betumi esi wa abrochire na I started announcement then it becomes a contribution request. Omo mfa no zumo na abofra na hunu ho anu. This is how they go. Process. We are buying a gift for the pastor's birthday. Everyone should contribute 2,000 cedis. Ohie ni die ni wa wedi birthday wa soro ho. Nipa bebrebe na egu asore dem wo wo papa enye wo mma mo birthday na nka wudi. Emofra na di birthday ma. Does this make sense? If this is not Asian trauma, what do you call this? Then omo be say niam papa e di ni birthday into no pastor's appreciation. Na dia opepa asoro ho no ne mpaboa na acheache no sand the 5 cedis no still or the beko. We are organizing a program. Everyone should contribute 5,000 cedis. Sign and start you. Enti say no wo mpena papa bi a no me ma obi na wo de ko. Uni bi so atumi fa mpena ne boso be ye 4. No mama obi na wo di tua. The pastor has declared a financial breakthrough fast. Everyone should sow a seed of 10,000 Ghana cedis o. When baby ade ne ko say na eko. Say nya. And if you don't contribute, ade na besi bisamu. The pressure begins. One shey ni ya. Wo ye wadin say wuntua de abetimi ada ne bro nsam to say Maame Grace. The group admin sends you a private message. Sister Ama, we notice you haven't contributed. Ebedan oka wonto hwesu. Wonto hwe wonsoma osofo obi aso onko organize program. Nso say na eko. Aya me bisa so omo ya admin ni ade no mutu omo ka na ana service to God. Is everything okay? Sa no be bisa Ama. Na say wontua usika ni bibia ye okay. We are not their source. Don't let the enemy block your blessings. Fear ni die ambemu a enye adwuma because it actually fear that kills everything. I've told you this already. Me kai na me kira na kira say me Maame Grace na me ya enemy no me nka hwe nkira om. Say me na me ma girl no ntua sika no. Madam po anytime but they will blame the enemy. Say me ma enemy no. Wo beji mi sika me de to aduane adi. Wo enemy ben na so sen wo. Wo twa mentro enemy ben na so sen wo. But this is what they see it. I have come to realize that wo person wo kum obi a wo dey use Jesus say easy. Wo kwa na wo pem na nim guase about so just repent. And it ends there. You will get people to follow you. Just don't be sincere, don't be honest. Just love God and that's it. Wo nya enemy. I will force me ama metie sika mi nya mfaso obi a wo so. But enemy no mom. I don't understand. Then the pastor mentions in church. Some people want to receive but they don't want to give. God is watching. Osofo no so de no. Just a statement biara ehun bi tato. Admin ne de no. Ose me mabro nsam daada. Osofo ne de no or say God is watching. Just a statement biara. Efedie na my head I start shaky. Hey, admin ne kan say bro nsam o. Osofo yisu sisenyo. Enye sa ebi nso na exam so ben. Nti threat we ba wantua wanhwe kra obefeli. Then your so-called church friends start avoiding you. Cause one ma bro nsam daada. Everybody that is awakened and conscious, people hate you. For way to trim. People feel you are something else. They won't even they see you as a intimate worry. Some for time I tell me I'm not bothered when you hate me. Not at all. Not at all. Then you start feeling guilty. Because admin ne catch re or so for na catch or say we na for na etwen omo wo be yi entia. Then you start feeling cursed. Then you start feeling like maybe you are the problem. This is how it works. Aye. So you borrow money because you don't want to wait. You skip meals. Because what kobobusinya kotuya asori no. Nisika no. Out of whatever rubbish. Forgive my manners. Afe aduane a untumi ndi. Na afe de u boros u skip meal. Afe be we ask no bi ne wo dance awatumi adidi. You sell your laptop, your source of education. You sell it. Laptop a wutonwa de bi ombema homework bia wo bekai. You are punishing yourself for unnecessary whatever I don't know. You call home begging for more money. Abrewa ohiani wo papa security ono no wahuna mane. Even though your family is already struggling, wo de no ato nchen. Hey, me sister nyame wo ho pa sa de amuka ya ohun. All because you are afraid. Say one tia nyama besi wuso. Nti wo maame de ono owo bi na oje wo de ketwa na ka ho is not afraid of nyankopon na ote n'anim no. Na wo a wo ni bi a wo betua no wo you afraid of de. If this is not trauma, tell me what is it? This is happening in all the universities. This is equally corruption. I'm drawing all the ministers' attention to this. Allo mi male. Energy corruption. Onu nsuro nyame, onu oji usika. Onsuro nyame. Wona usuro nyame. Be sincere to yourself. Your 500-year-old ancient trauma has been triggered. Fear increases. Osofo no de onim we nyina nti oppress wo kakra kakra. Omba wom no wape wo ba bi afa. But ask yourself, if you are in such a situation, why are you afraid? Ade no ni bi. Onyankopon ni madwene mu ni makoma mu. Nti onim se wo ni bi, nti se ye nyame ampa. Ade na wo suro. Eye bibi e wo mu na osofo na sua na o trigger. Are you afraid of a fiaga pastor more than your parents? Wo maame na oda afuo no mu ho. Wasoa dia wo maame, wo ba school kra maame ton na ponche. Ansa na o ma wo ba. Wo suro osofo no wei. Osofo wei unconscious socks 3. Ene ne trouser anko yi ne nanya echen banchi dua. Wo suro sa osofo ya ne kwa echi na ma ne nufu abobo, ne mo maso abobo to say niama ye nya ayo anfa nto yi. Wo suro no echen wo maame na wo papa. O mo de kura na se a o mo bre. Ah, ewurade. Wo suro no chen hwan. Wo suro wo sofo chen wukum. Kai. Question yourself, what is going on? Question yourself. This is what you should do when you get into that situation. Question yourself. Practice mindfulness. Why am I feeling compelled and helpless? Question yourself. At the moment you start questioning yourself this, your inner divinity will start to speak to you. And you will understand all this ajana once. Bisa wo sa question you say, I don't me feeling compelled. I don't bisa wo. So now you know that you are afraid of the same thing your ancestors were afraid of when the missionaries came. When you start questioning yourself, because your inner divinity doesn't lose any information and your Akashic record is intact, you will start getting the answers sharp. Afraid of being cursed, afraid of being on the wrong side of God. So one fanyamana ma unya osra hindi eni mu kwan. Esa wo jitum sa wo ye bonefo na wo ja wo wabusua kontonche no na wo ba Kristo abusua na wo bu nkotoje ne ye bo wasunya de se ja oba ne ho kronkron di mu. When you start asking yourself these questions, your inner divinity will start to answer all of them for you. Start asking yourself. When you start asking yourself these questions, you will get answers. I have told you, practice mindfulness. When you are quiet and alone, that is when you are able to think straight. No matter the situation, sit somewhere and practice mindfulness. You will know that you can actually do anything and everything. When it happens like that, you kill fear. You don't lose nothing. Be a better thing will come and replace it. Just believe this. Believe it's a lie. Just know this. Know this. This is not a church, ebusia. Church e forceful. Emma wo ye nieme nyina against your will. Enye church. Maka. This is a cult. And I have said it so many times. That group ni a cult. That this is psychological manipulation. I've said this. And the first time I make it. This is spiritual abuse. You are buying air. You pay for nothing. All the dues near the end of na unya she. E you be. Bottom na wu save you. Now won't also into me yibi. This is the continuation of the dreadful Western Inquisition by new means. This is what is going on. So me, I will never blame anybody. I will never blame anybody. So the baby abedada, there be one wondering. And the worst part, the pastors running these schemes know exactly what they are doing. Some of them are professors, some of them are doctors, I've told you. Some of them are psychologists, they know where to press for you. They study the same psychology as theologians. You see, be a theologian now, be able to me do what you agro. They know where to press to trigger your triggers. They understand trauma bonding. They know. Into your mama wa bonding. Na fe trauma na setting. Into your mu break you out. No more ma wa sebrun something say Maame Grace. They understand fear-based control. They know these things. That's why they go to Bible school to learn. And ka aden in a bishop. Ebe ma enipa awie university pe. Ena enya asofo wo na asori utie. Enipa omo awie university pe no betumi a odeni omo as pastors e wo no na sorry. And so all the thousands of branches no wo Ghana no obi eni wo no abetumi afa Bible na kogina wa preach. Dia wo ko preach ne ye de ono atworo ama wo. Any the wo se kano na wo a we university no wo kogina ho no waka. So what is the point in this? Bibisa. What is the sense actually in this? They understand fear-based control. They know where to press for you. Most of these spiritual people will study your triggers. I don't know why we love the Western so much, but near maybe they understand how to use the name of God to commit crimes against humanity. They know. They know. Because we are or ye wade enyanu in the name of God or lawyer so what tell me no sorry in the name of God obey you no against you. This is where we are. Ya prof isura besi ase. Ni yesi ye mpese ye hu nsama how? Ade apronya nsama na free mu ba. Cause nobody will do anything to them. Eye nyame asem eye nyame asem. And they are getting away with it because we as a people have not healed from the original trauma. We every more. Lawyer ni doctor ni. In fact, Papa President, so wa unim say e ka Ghana de no onyame ntumi ntua. Anka wo mpa mo ntua ma wo nto because me hu se wo bre wo pese obi a nto no. Nti se mpa boy adwuma de a ana nyame wo ho ye adwuma ade na ma onyame ntua. Na wo nto because me mani da wo so pa o. Tina me say brother me di Christianize o. Anka sunsunfo ye omo se omo hwim sika yi. Ke de omo nyina begu obi a wanhwim bia na ye twa ne hwe wa na ye gya na ma ne ko. Oyo oba so a ye ntwa na so no de wig akata so na ye tu ne hwene afi ho na ye gya na ma ne ko. Abusia it looks like we have to bring this sermon back because if you want something to be done, you need to reinforce it and advocate. And nothing na me sande ade we buy. Ebonwo, me say report ne ye massive. Omo adi asofo na di omo ni omo akoso abortion. Omo chese ensam no doso. So we need to talk about this. We are not here to disgrace anybody. Yes, anke ye de nkrofo no say they want chance to talk. And no cameras so dey obi eni bi nsem me. Kam roli guso. Na anke ye but yes sir wo pese wo ye bibi ya. Truth of the matter is you can never correct anything you have condemned. So me, I said I'm drawing your attention and let's ask questions. No na make because obia baby obia I care. This year, I want government to do something about these young people being lured into these church cults. Papa Mahama, please do something. And I'm making sorry, mom register. Say NGO na what sika no so. Na ho so hwa there. Sika no it's okay. It's a question. So say your business wa afeso a watua ne tax. Aban no onhwe sa niam we ekoso because the university so it tells the future of your leaders. So we leader na dwene wo form say India and yes obetena soro wo de ene ye wu o obeton ya de 15 cedis. We and amesre. Social welfare and the gender ministry must do something to establish the reality of the issues. All these systems are there to save us. Enti yemfa ne say bi omo nteye omo hu ye eno na me draw omo attention nti na me say aha me draw attention ekonia me be ye yie so na mama ye nyina ye question niama na waso wa question wu hu e wo fie nti uti asem na ma ne ye adwuma wo hu na fe wa extend e de amade obeben wo be ma waso. But I will be back next week to share with you how you can take yourself away from these church cults and heal your ancient traumas. Very important. Last week, you know, and Crawford beside me was spiritual hour say, Omo ako donate your soul, any of my life. Lord, I give you my heart. I give you my soul. I live for you alone. Every breath that I take, every moment I make, Lord, have your way in me. It's too huge. Now, Crawford beside some then I think next week, you know, you didn't na be peso. E wa ha say. Now, one kasa wo fear. You learn how to deal with your ancient trauma so that you the sense huni bi be bo pono so na odi bia hwe nani so ama no no wa pe ni be bia fa enye se ehini su senyo eye words in a liberating nipa. If you don't understand words, you cannot answer them, and if you don't answer them, they will trap you. Understand this for me. If you can go to court for a Muslim girl who was not allowed to fast in a Christian school, then go to court for this. This is much, much, much important. And you, now change the stinky attitude, no? It's not helping us. Annie, Abusia, I will see you next week. We will deal with all these traumas. Share, and you never you behave the way you behave, you know. Obi abuafu, obi ekontokwa, obi ayekokonsa, and your fault. We don't know how to deal with trauma. Our ancestors were doing better. This same religious system, and the best say the way you dealing with us. Into obi bottle pain be ewonumu. Jai manenka di obi etimi jai maneka, but you free with me we are enye ye. This is the reason why your ancestors na nipa mienu nya asem a omo de omo betena ho na mpanimfo atena ho na omo ama omo kwan na omo aka omo asem ni nyina de ye ne ye nyina na waka na omo wi a na omo asiesie de obepa ne cho na wapa ne cho de obepata ne nyonko na wapata ne nyonko na omo akili pain no. This time we go to church and pray. Nipa na wo offend anything baby. Inti pain ni wo ho, traumas ni wo ho. Enu ti ne nyina ya heja. Our blood is dirty. Our cells are dirty. Me ka se bi kire doctor bi, afi no hwe manim ye. Me ka kire ne se obi a wawu. Aye onko yi ni cells no hwe. Eye impurities ne wo ho. Impurities ne ku nipa. Eno ye topic for another day. Aha na me di usi. Me ko